The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Hi. So, recently I posted a video about how society is awful to women overall regarding their race, but highlighted how race plays a factor into how terrible those women are treated. If you have not watched that video, I do recommend giving a watch, though it's kind of ass-numbingly long. It's over an hour long, that's why. But the reason why I recommend watching it in relation to this video, because I ended up getting this comment left on it. Simply just saying Nicole Brown Simpson. And if you don't know who she is the woman that O.J. Simpson K-worded. And if you don't know who O.J. Simpson is, he is a menace to society. Let's talk about it.
It's my scene, you know what I...
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate, and I'm got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. We are talking about nostalgia today, and the O.J. Simpson case is very nostalgic for me because my peers talked about it a lot during like my childhood and constantly mocked it, not just by the people I was around, but also by the professional entertainment industry. But during all of this, no one denied that he was guilty. It was also widely known that he, as in OJ, was a very rude man, a literal bitch. Despite the fact that he was terrible, it wasn't a secret. Why were so many people on his side? Why, you may ask? Because while OJ was black, he was an example of black excellence, unfortunately. And black excellence is the idea that if you are black, you have to be very good at something in order to be seen, and if you are not exceptional, then people will not bat an eye at you. O.J. Simpson was a talented athlete, I won't deny that. Because he was so good at what he did, on top of the fact that he wasn't white, the black community felt that he could get off the hook for what he did. Not only was he talented, but he was also very wealthy. It seems as though no one cared that he was a bitch and they excused it because he was rich and famous. You want to know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of this quote from the Boondocks because it applies to OJ too. We all know the nigga can sing. But what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? Because many of the people who were happy that OJ was found innocent were black.
Was building. Just after 10 o'clock, there was silence outside. Then the verdict.
Must be somebody. And when the situation came up and it looked like someone always trying to find something wrong with us to hang us for everything.
Relieved for him, I'm happy for him. You know, not just because he's black, but wrong is wrong and right is right.
Side vendors, even t-shirts with verdicts have already rolled off the press, and people are buying.
And then also on the front, it has a freeway, when they chase them down on the freeway.
How much is it?
It's $15.
And this is just a side note, but I really don't like how this case was written off of, like, be careful with which white people you choose to hang out with. I understand that. As someone who grew up black, we were constantly told that don't get in trouble with your white friends because if y'all get in trouble, you're gonna get it the worst. So I am cautious of that. I get that. And I don't like how people were trying to write this case off of, yeah, he got in trouble because he was messing around with a white woman. No, Buki, that's not what this is. Okay, anyway, back on topic. There are many nuances in relation to the subject of black excellence, and if you would like to know more, please check out Miss Vixen's video on it. I will have a link down below. Now, one argument that can be made is that many had no issue with OJ getting away with what he did to Nicole because Nicole was not black or a woman of color at all. Nicole was white. Now, I have my criticisms on white women, okay? I talk about it all the time on my channel, even in my new book, and I talk about how white women can be just as bad as white men in relation to race, as white women are a major contribution as to why it feels at times feminism doesn't progress the way it should. When it came to women's rights, women of color were often excluded because white women did not see women of color as people. White women at that time weren't even given many rights in general because they were under the control of white men. In the past, if a white woman married a white man, her rights belonged to her white husbands. Ever heard of the law of coverture? Coverture is a legal principle that dates back to the Middle Ages and comes from a French term meaning covered. Imported from the American colonies as part of some English common law, coverture was a significant impact on women's lives. Under coverture, a married woman was included in her husband's legal identity. In the eyes of the law, she did not exist as an individual, but was instead covered by her husband. This means that married women would not make a will or her own property. There was no right or wages they earned and lost control of anything they owned before marriage. Coverture also meant that the husband had control over the wives' lives, bodies, over their families. If a husband chose to send his child away as an apprentice, his wife had no say in that matter. The law affected unmarried women as well. Although they had legal rights than their married counterparts, few unmarried women had opportunities. Before marriage, women were considered covered by their fathers, and widows found it difficult to support themselves and any children they might have had. Most young women married, most widows remarried. Beyond its impact on women's legal rights, coverture created attitudes that seemed like unbreakable truths. Women were supposed to be dependent, delicate, and dim-witted, while men were steady, strong, and rational. Those attitudes, in turn, impacted women's upbringings. Most girls received little to no education, and most women lacked the preparation and therefore the confidence to pursue a profession. Yet, many women had to work anyway, and their husbands controlled their wages. Coverture affected the lives of all American women. It had been diminished over time, but vestiges remains even today. We can see examples of this in numerous old Disney films where a woman or a girl did not have much of anything unless she was under the control of a man. Hercules is a prime example of this because Megara was not allowed to exist outside of a white dude. I'm literally not even joking. Her ex-boyfriend, who treated her like ass, white. Hades, who she was his literal slave, white. And then Hercules, the man she ended up with in the end, white. Just because a woman is white does not mean misogyny does not affect her. I have been in the process of making a video about fandom's issues with misogyny, and it's not just about women of color. Yes, there have been instances of white women trying to make black people in general look bad. No denying that Karen behavior right there. But this wasn't a case of a white woman trying to make a black man look bad. This was simply a case of a wealthy man brutalizing a woman and getting away with it. That's what it was. This is not an instance of self-defense on OJ's end. OJ hurt Nicole on occasion. Even when the couple was divorced, Nicole still fully couldn't separate herself from OJ because she had 2 babies with him and they shared custody. Mind you, he was still harassing her once they divorced. Mind you, OJ was in his 30s and 40s when he did all this behavior. Y'all, he was guilty as hell, and just because his victim is white doesn't change that. In my video I made, the question is, are we awful to dead women? And the answer in the end was yes. And I had gotten a comment asking why I didn't make a video about why the way we treat dead men too. And there is still a case of someone asking why I didn't defend Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen when I literally spoke about the way his dead mother was treated and how that affected his life. Y'all stay missing the point. Okay, anyway. But I made that video about dead women because we have this thing called misogyny. You still had a group of people saying that we should have sympathy for OJ because of how talented he was. Now, why can't y'all have that same sympathy for the woman's life he stole? Better yet, where is all this sympathy for Nicole when she was alive? Where was all this sympathy for Nicole when it was celebrated that OJ was a free man? Many years ago, Nicole's sister did an interview with Elle magazine, and I would like to read you all some of what she said because it is very, very relevant to the last part of this video. Is there anything you think the public missed at the time or missing now that you wish were part of this public conversation? Yeah, they don't know who Nicole is. They don't know who she was. Everyone knows Nicole as a celebrity wife and a woman who lived every day as a battered woman who lived every day as a miserable person. And yes, her life was tumultuous. We all learned this. But Nicole was a mother, she was a daughter, she was a sister, she was a friend. People don't know that she opened up her home for the holidays when nobody had places to go. She brought people into her home when they had birthdays. She would bake cookies with her kids. In 1992, she told me she was asking for a divorce. We were at a Spago for New Year's Eve. She had the perfect opportunity to share to me that she wasn't happy. She had the perfect opportunity to say, this is what he's been doing to me. But instead she said, I'm asking for a divorce tonight. No explanation about anything. No indication of any violence. Nothing. She just wasn't happy. And I had no idea what was going on. And she said to me, I've been trying to keep this marriage together for 5 years. And I'm only one dancing. I can't do this anymore. The first thing out of my mouth was this. Nick, do you love your kids? And she said, more than my own life. I know many people will not own up to being sorry for them being happy that OJ got off the hook. So you know what? I'll apologize to her. I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm sorry that your death was made a mockery on national television. And I am sorry that people believed you, but still wanted a wealthy and famous man to win.